Hey y'all, welcome to or welcome back to our very bookish channel. My name's Amanda and this is the next installment of our viral book series. In these videos, Jen and I will read a book that's going viral, selling out of bookstores, or just getting insanely popular, and we will give you our honest opinions about them. And in this episode, we are going to be reviewing Daggermouth by H.M. Wolfe.
Hey guys, it's Jen, and here are my 5 minutes of opinion on the viral book Daggermouth by H.M. Wolfe. I don't even know how to convey how much, not only was I surprised by how much I really loved this book, but I don't think, if you would have told me in the first 20% of this book that I would end up loving it so much and rate it 5 stars, I don't think I would have believed you. I've seen some hype on this book now, and I had suggested to Amanda, I know it's getting traditionally published on July 28th. That's why we are doing this video in July. I don't know how I always feel about dark, dystopian, enemies to lovers, spicy type romances, because some of the spicy romance I have loved and some I can leave. But this one, I was all over the place because, as I said, the first 20%, you're finding out information. I don't know how much I was really loving the writing. The characters were just kind of there for me. I wasn't sucked into this right away. And about halfway in, I definitely was paying attention more to the story, and I was enjoying the characters a little more. And I was very curious to see where this would go. Then I would say the last 20-ish% definitely had me in a chokehold. I loved so many parts of how this book ends. And there is a part 2. It's a duology. The next one is called Python and coming out next year. And I can't wait to read it. But I had seen a description that it said it is parts V for Vendetta, parts Hunger Games, and one more, and I'm forgetting what it is. The Handmaid's Tale. And at first I didn't necessarily get the Handmaid's Tale reference, but then the more you see what these women characters are going through in this book, the more I realize why that is one of the books that they feel this is similar to. I really love the characters of Shadira and Grayson. I think that it had an adequate antagonist in the president, I think is what they officially call him. Maximus, I think is his name. But the other reason why I feel like halfway through-ish that I was starting to like it more is you don't just see it through Shadira or Grayson. I thought it was going to be those alternating perspectives throughout the whole book, but you end up seeing perspective from Grayson's sister Lyra, and you see from Callum, who is one of, I guess you would say, a soldier. I don't know what the official word is for Callum, but you start seeing other characters, and I feel it definitely invested in me more. I would even say there's a dash of Fourth Wing in here, and only those that I think get one of the references as to why I'm saying that. It's more about the secrets that are being kept. And I know there's no dragons or dragon riders in this, but it's the way the political piece and some of the rebellion and secrets are. That's why I think it's similar to Fourth Wing. At least I felt that. This is definitely not my typical book, but I was highly entertained, and I surprised myself in that last 20% of how much I loved this book and ended up giving it 5 stars. So I do feel like it's worth the hype. Though sometimes when books get overhyped, it's not always worth the hype, but I did love how that last 20% played out, and I completely fell for this book, and I can't wait for the next one. I know H.M. Wolfe has other books too, so I don't know if they're going to get traditionally published like she is getting this one traditionally published, or how available those books are, but I am curious to read other books by her now too.
Oh my gosh, you guys. I don't know if it was like a case of right book, right time, or if I just sort of had tempered expectations. I heard this book was really good. I saw it was getting really good reviews, lots of 5 stars. Other YouTubers have read it and were talking about it, and I was interested in this book. I downloaded it off Edelweiss because I saw that it was available to me on Edelweiss. But I've had this book in my Kobo for a couple of months, and I haven't read it because I've just been really let down by these dystopian books, and especially adult dystopian books. I read and loved Hunger Games, that's no secret. I've told you all that so many times. And I have been so interested in trying to find another dystopian, little bit like disturbing book that would like keep my interest and give me that same excitement and that same emotional turmoil that I felt in the Hunger Games. And every book that I've read, including Silver Elite, we read Silver Elite for this series. Actually, it's a viral book that we read, and including including Silver Elite, I have been disappointed. I just felt Silver Elite was okay. I didn't think it was like that fantastic. I didn't think it was necessarily living up in my mind to all the hype it was receiving. But y'all, this book lives up to the hype. I absolutely devoured this book. I read the last half of this book in one sitting, and this book is pretty long. Okay, and that's a big deal for me. I was traveling and I had several hours on a car ride to read, so that's one reason why I read it in one sitting. But the end of the book, before I even got to the end of this book, I was trying to see when the next book was coming out because I cannot wait. I was checking Edelweiss, I was checking NetGalley for ARCs, I was checking Amazon for release dates, y'all. I cannot wait for the next book. And by the end, I was just like, I don't think any book has ever made me throw my Kobo before. I literally was sitting in the car, my husband was driving, I was sitting in the front seat next to him reading this book in turmoil. I was screaming, kicking, I was just gasping. My husband is like, what is wrong with you? He's not a reader, so he doesn't understand. He probably just thinks I was going crazy or something for the second. And I literally threw my Kobo down on the floor of the car and said, I can't believe this book ended like that. Let's go back and talk a little tiny bit about what this book is about, because I feel like even though other people have talked about this book, I didn't know what it was about. So this is a dystopian world. In the center of the city is called the Heart, which would be essentially the capital. If you've watched Hunger Games, it's essentially what they call the capital. And then there's 2 rings of other communities outside of the Heart. And in the middle of the Heart is the president. And he sets all of these very strict, very womanizing rules. Women have pretty much no power. Like, once you're married, you're property of your husband, and they do with you what they will. A lot of abuse can go on. You have to wear a mask to cover your face because he says it basically saves your dignity from letting the lower rings see your face, because you are in the Heart. You are high society. You are important. You contribute to society. He sees the outer rings as people that aren't very contributive to society, and I don't want to say punishes them, but he essentially disregards them and uses them, abuses them. And he wants to just hold power at all cost. And he does not care. He does not care about anybody. He does not care who he hurts. Now you have Shadra, and I think it's Shadra. I'm not sure. It might be Shadira, but they call her Shade as a nickname, so I think it's Shadra. Shadra lives on the outer poorest ring, and she is an assassin, and she's in a group of assassins called Daggermouths. And she gets the task of going into the Heart and assassinating the president's son. And the book really unfolds from there. This book pulled emotions from me. I can't remember the last time I felt so strongly about like not wanting a book to end and wanting to continue a book. There is a part that my heart stopped. At the end, I thought, no, not this character. I was so upset, and I just can't remember the last time I had a 5-star read like this. This was an easy 5-star read. This wasn't a, well, I'm gonna give it 5 stars because I really liked it. It was better than 4. No, this is easy 5-star read for me. Trust me, I am going to be scanning all of my available resources for an arc of Python, and hopefully I can get it and do an arc review for you all, because if you read this book, you're gonna want to know. You're gonna want to know about the next book as well. I can almost guarantee it. It was just, I thought it was so good.
Thanks for watching our opinions on Daggermouth by H.M. Wolfe. Let us know in the comments if you have read it, what your thoughts are. I am sure we will be back next year when Python comes out, so that we can give you our opinion on that one as well. Thanks for watching, guys, and until next time.